But oh, you beauty! What a head, son! What a head!
Yes, we're back onto the ball. We're live. Travis, we're watching your team, Manchester United. I got to take my hat off. It's been a great game. It's been a great tie. It really has. I didn't realize I'd enjoy Europa League this much. I've not watched Europa League in about 12 years since Roy Hodgson was in charge of Liverpool. That's how dead I consider this competition to be. But Man United on top, 5 minutes left, winning the tie, 4-3 on aggregate. I got it on my little iPhone. That's why I keep bending down.
Checking the score.
It looks like they're going through. And do you know what? I can't be mad. I really cannot be mad because it's good for me that Man United stay in it. Because if you win it, I won't be jealous. But if you go out of it and make a real push for the league, I'll be jealous if you won the league. That would be my worst nightmare.
Thing is, though, we've got the momentum now. Like, if we can manage to hold on to this result, we'll be bouncing going into that cup final. The fatigue and the legs just won't even exist, mate. Everyone will be on a high. And, I mean, we'll go into the game after it's finished. The result's not quite over yet, but after the first half showing, which was pretty poor, I mean, I was quite bored with the game in the first half in terms of our input from an attacking sense. We couldn't get into the game. I think Barca dominated it, which we'll go into. But I just love the way we respond and the way Ten Hag's able to affect games with his substitutions and his tactics in the second half. And we've dominated. We've scored 2 really excellent goals. So let's just hope we can hold on now. And like you said, it might jeopardize one of the cups. I don't expect us to win 4 trophies this season anyway. But we're just approaching every single game wanting to win. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what it's like when you're competing on all fronts. You were competing for 4 trophies last year, 4 proper trophies.
Seems like a million miles away now, mate. seems like about 100 years ago now.
Oh, mate.
I was clean shaven and had no grey hairs.
A week's a long time in football, mate, let alone 6 months. But yeah, you know what it's like when you're competing on all fronts. Like, you just, when the adrenaline's there and the momentum, you just want to keep going. That's all you want to keep doing. Just keep going, keep winning games. And that's what we're doing now. Like, it was a big 10 days for us. We were in 4 competitions. Over the next 10 days, obviously, we've got today's competition. We've got the FA Cup next week against West Ham. We've got the EFL Cup final this weekend, and then it's you lot in the league. So it's a huge couple of weeks for us, really. Like, and if we can come through this period, going through in all the competitions and going to Anfield and getting at least a draw, then it's been a huge result for us. You know what I mean? Like, I think the team's going great guns. There's a positive feel around the place. Like you said, Rio and Van Persie have been in the training ground this week doing a few interviews and stuff. And
Fergie, hasn't it? Has Fergie been in as well? Yeah,
Fergie had a dinner with Ten Hag the other day, and they said they spoke about all things football and stuff like that. And there's just a real buzz around the place. Like, everyone, like Rio and Van Persie have said, it feels different to what it felt like over the last couple of years. Everybody's positive. That sort of winning mentality is back. And as a fan, it's just so exciting. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with the Qatari bid and a few other bits and bobs, but if it all falls into place where we end up getting taken over by Qatar and we end up maybe winning one trophy or maybe a couple of trophies this year, then it's been a great first season for him.
It's an absolute nightmare for me, I got to admit. But we're not here to discuss what's a nightmare for me. I love the way you're just talking. It's like you're not even watching the game. You're not even stressed.
I don't need to. The boys have got it. The boys have got it, man. The boys have got it.
You just got total trust in Varane and Martinez.
Yeah.
And David De Gea. That's into the 90th minute now. What minute are you on your iPad or iPhone?
Yeah, I'm on more or less the same minute as you. I'm a little slightly behind normal time. I think I'm about 40 seconds behind. So hopefully we can see it through. You've got the game on.
I've got flash scores on as well, so that'll be live.
How much of the time is
there? It says 90+1 on flash scores, so we must be like at least a minute behind.
Right, okay. Did you see how much stoppage time was added?
No. It's still in there. It's about to come up to the 90th minute now, so it'll flash up. While we wait for that, I was going to get ready to wax lyrical about Lewandowski and Luka Modric. Oh, they're in. No, they're not. But Lewandowski's been non-existent. Where is he? I was going to say to you, at what point, I had a question. I've got like some points noted down to ask you.
Yeah.
And one of the questions was going to be, at what point does the prolific Lewandowski become like worthless? You know, like where there's no transfer fee involved? Because now he must still be worth 30, 40, 50 million at 34 years old. But then he's thrown in this performance tonight. He's been non-existent. I think the only player to be more non-existent than him is Jadon Sancho. I think we'll come on to that as well.
Yeah. I think with Lewandowski, with Lewandowski, he needs runners around him. He's never been the quickest. But if you look at him at Bayern, he's always had Sane, he's always had Koeman, he's always had Robben, he's always had players like that, Ribéry, running in behind, those types of players. At Barcelona, they all like to come to feet. Do you know what I mean? They all like to come to feet. Rafinha likes the ball to feet. Atsu likes the ball to feet. Dembele can stretch, but he's been a big miss for them. So yeah, I think when they haven't got runners off him and pacing behind, I think Lewandowski can become a little bit isolated and a little bit ineffective in games. So yeah,
either that or Varane and Martinez have just shackled him all game. OB, how you doing?
How you doing,
Not bad. How are you guys? You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah,
good, really good. Thank you.
Have you been watching it, OB?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Barcelona. I don't know what you guys have been saying before I come on, but Barcelona had the first half. I thought they had it quite wrapped up. United have seemed to have come on strong. I thought Ten Hag got it badly wrong in the first half, and he seems to have made up for that.
Yeah.
Changed it round and gone at them with a bit of pace, and it's small moments really that have made the difference. I think United took their chances, whereas Barca really, there was a couple of really good situations where they haven't made the most of it. I think overall in the play, I fought for the winner. I don't know about you boys, but I thought Fernandes was a little bit lucky not to give a foul away in the build up to that winner.
Similar to the penalty he gave away, but I would have said that foul was probably a little bit more aggressive than the penalty, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, the penalty had to be given because it was in the box and he clearly did it. Yeah. But I was surprised the foul wasn't given in the build up to the winner. It just seemed a bit odd, and it's like I don't understand what clear and obvious is, because for me it was a foul and that's it.
It sort of like felt like he probably didn't want to give it because he had already given the pen, and he probably felt a little bit bad. You know what refs are like? They try and even shit up, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
It probably was one of them. But yeah, I agree. I think it was probably a foul, to be fair.
And it's just like the moments have gone the right way for United.
Yeah.
I like to say they've been the better team in the second half, and without a doubt, like they've took their chances. So
basically, before you come on, Obi, all we'd really said was how ineffective Lewandowski was. Oh, he's just had one cleared off the line.
Wow.
Yeah, I've just seen it.
93rd minute.
How much stoppage time was added on?
5 minutes. So there's a minute and a half left. Now they've got a corner. Oh, he's in there. A bit like the angle Bruno was at in the first 2 minutes.
I've got.
Yeah. Are you watching it live, Obi? You on TV?
Yeah, it's a little bit behind. It is a stream, but it's through BT. So it is a little bit more up to date than the other ones.
So we can hold on for the result.
It's finished. It's finished, Trav. I got it on Flash Score. It's finished.
Get in there. Come on, boys.
So is that United won the World Cup Europa League playoff? What's that all about? You know
World
what I mean?
Cup Europa League in the bag, boys.
I didn't even know Europa League playoffs existed. I mean, football shouldn't be played on a Thursday night. I've got The Apprentice to watch and stuff, so I'm just surprised that anybody bothered.
I think this is the first season it's actually been into play the playoffs, but it's a huge result for us, really.
So what is it? Is it the teams that didn't win the group?
Yeah.
No, the third place teams, OB.
Third
It's
place
just to try and
Champions
extend.
League second place teams in the Europa League. Only the teams that finished first in the Europa League went straight through, and the teams that finished second played in a playoff, and they played against the third place teams in the Champions League groups.
What the hell is that all about? I mean, seriously, that's just a farce, isn't it?
I think the reason they did it is to sort of stop like the teams that went out of the Champions League just going straight into the round of 16 and being sort of favourites to win the competition straight away. I think they've tried to even it up a little bit. But like you said, the concepts doesn't really do anyone any favours, just like extra games and stuff like that. And like you said, Obi, I echo what you're saying. I think it was a good tie over the two legs. I'm really glad we've won, really, to be honest, because like you said, it was two really, really close games, really close teams. Also going great guns in the league without, do you know what? Like, I think I said it on the podcast before the first leg. It's sort of a game that suits the away team in both legs in a weird way. Like, the pressure's on the home team to take it to the other team, and we counterattacked at their place and they dominated the ball in the first half. And I was thinking, yeah, it's going more towards that sort of way. But like you said, Ten Hag was able to change the game and made the changes that won the game, really, taking Weghorst off, who wasn't great in the first half, bringing Anthony on, and that just injected the pace that I felt we needed. And we've missed Anthony big time, and it was great for him to get a goal and his comeback. I'm absolutely...
Do you think Ten Hag... what he was trying to do with the tactics in the first half, because it was clear, like from the first game, that pace would kill Barca.
I think he's really in a groove or a habit of picking Weghorst. Like Ronaldo would have been delighted with this many minutes since the 1st of January.
And I think for all Weghorst's he presses and all that sort of thing, United look more ineffective when he's on the park. There's no doubt about that for me. They look like they're easier to manage in the game. He's clumsy at points as well when he's that front line of defence. He doesn't look for me like he's any sort of answer. And if he is the answer, I don't know what the question is, and I don't understand why he starts these games. I mean, I imagine he probably won't start the final.
Weghorst?
Yeah.
I'd be...
The thing is...
shocked.
In a game like tonight, he was ineffective because Barca are so technically good. Like, he's in the team in that position for his pressing. But if the team's so good in possession like Barca are, they can play one touch. Every single player can play one touch.
Does that not come back to the fact that the manager's got it wrong then, and it kind of proved it in the first half?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work at all. At all. And I don't
understand why he thought it was going to work. And that's what I don't get. I don't understand it.
I think, like I say, I think he's in a bit of a habit of picking Weghorst. He's in a bit of a system now. And we mentioned it in the last stream. Sometimes when you've got a deep lying false nine like Weghorst is, he's not going to be up top with his pace. It gives the wide men license to roam and be effective. And obviously, in this case, it was Rashford and Bruno out wide, which again, I'm not sure if that worked because Sancho was ineffective. I've made some notes and I'm sure we'll pick him to pieces in a bit. But it got to about the 30th minute and the commentator mentioned Sancho's name. And I was like, I forgot he was even playing.
Yeah. It was a little bit disjointed. Like you said, normally in the league, what we've been doing is Rashford's been playing through the middle, Bruno on the right, Weghorst in the 10. But the difficulty was when normally Garnacho's the one that adds the balance. And that's why Anthony's been so important, because when he plays, he gives us that natural width that we need in the game. But I think, like you said today, it didn't work because they were just so good on the ball in the first half. We couldn't really get near them in midfield. I think Casemiro, it felt like he was doing doggies on his own, to be fair. Fred stepped up second half and was unbelievable. But in the first half, Barcelona totally dominated the game. We couldn't get to grips with them in the midfield. And Anthony coming on just stretched the game in the way that we needed to stretch it, with the width on that right hand side. He's so important for us because he just holds his position, and that's what I think the key was to the game, really. Him coming on. And
I think even Ollie would have made that change at halftime. Trav, do you think? All jokes aside,
maybe,
I think everyone was screaming for Weghorst is ineffective, and you need more pace.
Yeah. Weghorst is ultimately a stopgap. We know that. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe Anthony wasn't fit to play 90 minutes. I mean, the likelihood is he probably wasn't fit to play 90 minutes. He's probably missed about the last 8 to 10 games. So he probably had that trick up his sleeve and knew he was going to use him at some point. You saw Sancho come off. You saw Garnacho come on as well. So he would have had one eye on the final secretly as well. Like you said, the big decision is whether he goes Weghorst, Rashford again, or whether he goes Bruno, Anthony, and Rashford off either Weghorst. Martial's back in training as well. So he's got a team to pick. I can't see Martial starting the game. He might be on the bench, but I think Bruno's a cert, Rashford's a cert. But then the rest could be any from 4, really. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does.
Obi, I said just before you come on, this is good for us as Liverpool fans for 2 reasons. A, I don't give a toss about the Europa League. They can win it for all I care. And B, this will hurt their title challenge if they're in one, which they are. They're in one. All jokes aside, I hate Man United, but they're in a title challenge.
Yeah. I don't think that. Right. Okay. So
yeah, they won't win it, but they're in a title challenge.
If they won't win it, they're not in it. True, isn't it? If you play it like that, they won't win it. I don't think any of the 3 of us believe they'll win it. So they ain't in it for me. I think what he will probably do is he'll probably have to start managing what games he's focusing on. So if this is only to get through to the last 16. League, that's a lot more games he's just signed himself up to. You know what I mean? And I think
has anyone done any research? Is it the draw?
The draw tomorrow. You know what the mad thing is?
Do you play another 2 when we play the second leg of Madrid? Have you got a first leg and the second leg when we play Madrid on the 16th of March? Is it that quick? So we play 2,
I think we do play about 4 games, but I'm not sure if any of them are Europa ties, to be fair. But do you know what the mad thing is about tonight? We've knocked a favourite out. So the mad thing is the draw, and whoever we get is probably going to be an easier tie than what we've just played.
No, it won't, Trav, because you're unseeded.
Right.
Playing against someone who topped the group.
Yeah, but Real Sociedad topped our group. Do you know what I mean? We should never have finished second. We lost 1-0 at home because of a penalty. I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, some of the teams are absolute, not fodder, but there's a lot of ties that we should really be winning. Like, we should never have finished second in that group. It's bad that we finished second, to be fair. It was poor. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I've not really seen the teams that really top the group. Yes, we're unseeded, but I'd actually
think that talks about the quality of the competition that we.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know who topped the group. I didn't even understand that this was a playoff.
Obi, I don't even know who's left in it, mate. Honestly, and I'm not like
who is in it?
The 2 favourites are in it, which is Man United and Barca. Barca are out. Arsenal are still in it.
Arsenal are still in it. Yeah.
Did Arsenal top the group?
Yeah, Arsenal
play
top
this
their,
nonsense.
Yeah, Arsenal top their group.
I'm looking now. There's Rennes. There's Union Berlin. Roma have won their playoff. But anyway, that's for another time. Let's get down to the game tonight.
Juve have won a playoff, apparently.
Yeah, Di Maria hat trick.
Seville, Leverkusen, Sporting.
Fodder. It's all fodder. It's United's if they want it.
I think. Well, I mean, Sevilla have got
some tough teams, but not. It's not like the Champions League, but there'll be some tricky games.
Let me put it to you like this, Trav.
Go on.
So you're still on the quad, as Neil keeps calling it. I'm hoping Neil's going to join tonight. Where do you rank the Europa League in the quad? Is it second, third, fourth in priorities?
I rate
And,
it.
I ask you the same. I'm going to ask you the same thing, Ob.
I personally
Man
rate
U or
it.
Liverpool.
Mm.
What would you rank it? You go first, Trav. Is this number 2?
I rate it third. I rate it above the EFL Cup, but I don't rate it above the FA Cup or the league with what we're in. Like
FA Cup over a European trophy.
Yeah.
Do you think Ten Hag would think the same? Surely not.
Probably not. No.
You go Europa League second. Ob, if obviously Liverpool were in this situation, I mean, I'll tee up for you. I'd have Europa League right down the bottom. I'd want out of it. Give me the domestic treble all day long.
Yeah, I agree.
The Europa League doesn't get my juices going at all.
I think once you get to the Carabao Cup final, that's a massive game. So United are in a massive game on Sunday, and there's no doubt about that. But once you get to that final, you want to win that trophy.
For sure.
I think because of where they are in the Europa League, I don't think there's necessarily a priority to win it, because basically the prize is to get into the Champions League, and United are looking like they're going to achieve that through the league anyway. So it wouldn't surprise me if this was a statement of intent, and he's put out a strong team. Maybe he does fancy it, but he shouldn't. He really shouldn't. He should be thinking about priorities of elsewhere. So the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup.
Do you think it was because it was Barca?
I think so.
Obviously, it's a big name. You want to set down your marker for the season.
Barca were obviously trying to win it. The only thing is, if there's any injuries picked up tonight, Rashford was down for a bit at one point, weren't he? And there's been a few others. If any of them pick up an injury, it could have an impact, you know what I mean, on the game on Sunday. And it is horrible playing that Thursday Sunday situation. And I don't know. We'll wait and see. I suppose it depends how deep his squad is, how many people he's got fit.
Looks like Luca thinks we're going to win it, though.
What's that?
Looks like Luca AFC thinks we're going to win it, though. He says we're going to win the Europa League.
Luca's in the comments. How you doing, Luca? United won. You're going to win the Europa. They're definitely going to be favourites. Absolutely. I don't care who else is in it. Even Arsenal, Man United will be favourites. Arsenal haven't got any European pedigree for me. Ask Naeem.
Where's the final this year for the Europa League?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
See, Trav don't care about it.
No, I'm not very well invested at all. I'll be honest. No, I'm not sure.
It'd just be interesting to see, like, if it ended up being an all-English final, it'd be one of them farcical situations where they played a final in, I don't know, some war zone somewhere. Yeah. And basically people have to travel thousands of miles, and it is absolutely farcical. Yeah, I think Arsenal and Chelsea had that issue a few years ago where they had to play the final and it was at Baku.
Yeah, that's when we won it in 2019.
You two know what it's like, though, when you're in a lot of competitions like you have been and we are. Obviously, you've been in the Champions League and stuff. You don't really. It's like, I'm not saying it's difficult to prioritize. I think as fans, we prioritize what we think the manager should prioritize. Well, they just see every game as we want to win every game. Like, that's what we've literally done tonight. We've gone in and we just want to treat every game as we want to win it. And that's what I think we'll do now. And the good thing is I know it's just the start of it, but we do keep winning these games. Like, to go through tonight, we could have quite easily lost that game tonight. We'll be delighted. The dressing room will be bouncing, albeit not a great competition and stuff, but it's going to do well for the momentum of these players. I mean, half of this squad, they've not won the Premier League. They've not won the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? They've got to sort of work their way up to that sort of mentality and that level. And I think what the manager's doing is setting a standard that the players have got to adhere to. No matter what sort of competition that you're in, no matter what sort of cup it is, you go out to win. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter about the media noise, about competition being poxy or whatever, because like you said, as fans, we talk about that all the time, like, oh, that's a dead competition and stuff. And it is true. Do you know what I mean? The league and the Champions League are the competitions everybody wants to win and be in. That's fact. Like, we can't deny that. But as players, do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of these players are young. A lot of these players haven't won at the highest level, like the Casemiros of this world and stuff like that. And I think it's important that they show the fans that they want to fight to win every game. So I'm pleased that we've gone through personally tonight, especially going into that final on Sunday. Like you said, there'll be some tired legs, but that tiredness won't be an option on Sunday. We've just got to go out there and do the business.
What would you do if you rested about 5 or 6 players on Sunday? Would you be surprised?
Rested for?
Well, just rested them because they played tonight.
Oh no, he won't. He won't. Do you know what I mean? Like after the first leg, we played Leicester at the weekend, and I don't think he hardly made any changes. But I think he only changed the players. That was like Casemiro had 1 suspension. The rest of the team was more or less the same as that Leicester game. So tonight was more or less the same as Sunday. So I can't really see him. The only change I can see him making is if Anthony's fit to start, and that's about it. I think the team's picking itself a little bit. I can't think. Maybe I don't know. No, I don't think he'll play Dalot over Wan-Bissaka. I think Wan-Bissaka will play. Casemiro's back. He might play Sabitzer over Fred. That might be the only.
Would he go with Garnacho over Sancho? Maybe.
Depends if I think Sancho's the one to miss out. Only for basing it on the last couple of months and tonight's performance. It's for me, it'll be Rash on the left. I think he'll play Weghorst. I think he really rates him in this system, not so much as individually as a player. And then Anthony on the right, Bruno in the hole. Fred done well tonight, really well. And then it's a special shout out. I can't believe Trav hasn't wished him a happy birthday first. It's Casemiro's 31st birthday today. So many happy returns to Casemiro. The decline starts now.
He's like a fine wine, mate. He's getting better with age.
I tell you what, you told me.
In all seriousness, if he was getting better, Real Madrid wouldn't have sold him. Let's be honest. They must have seen something. They're probably, I mean, they have got a storming midfield. And they've obviously gone, right, okay, we've got a choice between someone like Cruz or someone like Casemiro, and have decided to hold on to Cruz. So it'll be interesting to see if that decision pays off long term. But it does look like Real Madrid have got a really strong midfield, to be fair.
Yeah. Trav reassured me that Casemiro's role in the team means that he doesn't have to be box to box and have the legs of a 25-year-old Frankie de Jong, who we'll get onto later. He was so silky. But I think you're discrediting him there. He was box to box tonight. He gets forward so much. He covers so much ground at the back. Obviously, from a Liverpool point of view, I hope he burns out fast.
I think he surprised me as well, because Real Madrid didn't really play how we sort of play. And like you said, the Premier League's a totally different level of intensity to what the Premier League is. So when you look at Casemiro when he played for Real Madrid, you don't really see him having that sort of, not impact on games, but in terms of the way he plays, I would say he's different. Obviously, like when he's had the likes of Modric around him and other players, they're the ones that sort of do the box to box, the Valverdes, those types of players. They're the engine room in the team, and he was that one who could just. He still dictated play for Real Madrid. Don't get me wrong; his passing range was still quality, but like he never had to really do the running. But in our midfield, he is. I would say he is a little bit more all action. I'm not saying he's a better player. He's just playing in a different team, but he has surprised me the level of sort of offensive ability that he's got, really, the ability to pick passes, the ability to join in, like the Bruno chance that he created in the first half, that just whipped round the corner, like it just not came out of nowhere, but he's sort of one step ahead. He just sees those passes before they're even on, really, and he's just been a top player. He's really revolutionized our midfield. That was the biggest weak point in our tenure over the last 3 years with McTominay and Fred. It just didn't have that player in there that was dominant for a start. His physical presence is quite intimidating for a start, but on the ball, he just, like I said, he surprised me a lot. So I'm really pleased with the signing. Like he said, he's 31 now. Will he decline? Will remain to see. I think he can play. I still think he's got another 2 to 3 top quality years in him. He might not. We'll have to see. But I think in terms of Real Madrid moving him on as well, similar to when you move Mane on, sometimes it's just like an evolution thing. Do you know what I mean? Like you get the money while you can. You might not think you're going to get a bid of the ilk that you got for the player. I mean, 60 million's good money for a 29, nearly 30-year-old. They probably thought, right, well, if we buy Tchouaméni, we've already got Camavinga. They might have just seen it as good business, and clubs do that. Do you know what I mean? They move players on not just because they're crap, or they're declining. It's just from a business sense. They want
too good to turn down.
Yeah, too good to turn down, and I think that was the case with Casemiro. I think they knew they were losing a good player, but I think like you said, against Liverpool, they showed that they could more than cope without him. Do you know what I mean? They've got top class players in and around the squad everywhere, and they're just.
I actually think they've upgraded. I really do. I think they've upgraded. I think what they've done is they've gone, right, okay, this guy is probably close to being past his best. Is he the same player he was 3 years ago? He's probably slightly declined. Still a good player. Now's the right time to sell, and done it right. You know what I mean? Reinvested in younger players, and just rotated, and all fair play to them. I think they've done really well out of it.
The thing is, I don't want to digress because we're just going to make it all about Man United, but Liverpool could be in the same situation. There's a few whisperings on Twitter mainly that PSG are in for Mo Salah, and that could end up being one of them. He's 30, he's 31 soon. If they put in an offer of 70 or 80 million, I could see us doing exactly the same as what Real Madrid doing. And that's not us saying that Salah's finished and we're getting rid of a bit of dead wood. It's a bit like, come on, he's 31 soon. Much like Casemiro, the money's just too good.
Would you do it?
Personally, yes, I would. I'd take 70, 80 million now. I just feel like we're at an evolution.
Off the right?
Probably I'd try and convert Diaz off the right, coming in on his left. We've got 6 forwards now. I don't know how we're going to keep them all happy. Nunes seems to be finding his feet on the left, so that means, where's Diaz going to be? But that's for another poddy. OB, Trav always rips me for not watching enough European football. He says I only know Liverpool players. Frankie de Jong was so silky tonight, and when I looked at him, he's 25 years old. He was another CDM, but box to box. Great touches, and I thought, thank God Man United didn't buy him instead of Casemiro. Both great players, but if he's still available at the price that was quoted, what was it, 70 million? I would snap him up. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he was the best player in the park tonight.
Yeah,
and I thought his touch, his ability to read the game, I thought he was quite dominant at points, and he just seems to find space as well. And he seems to know where space is all the time, and he's through the lines with a good pass, and then he's moving into space to get the ball back, and it's constant. And great player, really great player, and he's coming towards his peak as well. You can see that in what he's doing, the way he's moving, physicality as well, just the energy that he produced for Barcelona. He is the engine room of that team, and he's a classy engine room at that. He really is. He's purring at points, and it's a little bit of a shame. I think they've got a Lewandowski who's just slightly past his best. Talking of players that are past the best, and I don't think attacking wise they're anywhere near where we've seen previous Barcelona teams. But I would say that he's a standout player in that team. He really is.
Is he still available in the summer, do you think? Is this wage row still rumbling on, Trav? Do you know? You've always got your ear to the ground. Is he been paid?
The commentators were saying that there's still 200 million in the red that they've got to pay by the end of like this year or next season or something. So yeah, they're looking to
I did hear that.
They're looking to clear the decks on a few players, to be fair. I think clubs will be in for De Jong this summer. I think he will be available. I think there will be clubs in the Premier League that will be looking at him without a doubt. And I think he'll be more open to a move this season. Last season, he was adamant that he weren't going. I was quite confident that not quite. I was very confident that we would get him, and we didn't get him. I was quite disappointed about that. But I think he will be more open to a move, especially. Well, it will all depend. Obviously, Barca winning the league, being in the Champions League, and it all depends how integral Xavi thinks he is. Because tonight they were missing Gabi and Pedri, who were huge misses for
Dembele.
And Dembele, 3 huge misses for Barcelona tonight. I think if Barca see their future with Gabi and Pedro, they might not they might think that they can sell De Jong, to be fair, because obviously they've still got Frank Kessie in there. Sergio Busquets seems to be a little bit of a mainstay and always seems to play no matter what. I think Xavi always trusts him. So it will all depend. Will they prioritize? I know they tried to buy Bernardo Silva at length last season. Will he be available again this summer? I think there's going to be a lot of movement between themselves and clubs like Manchester City. I think Liverpool are going to do a lot of business as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one with De Jong.
We've got 11 people watching us right now. Welcome to the stream, guys. Let us know in the comments how you thought the game went. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like what you hear. But yeah, Frankie De Jong, add them to the long list of midfielders in the summer. Obi, Mateus Nunes, Jude Bellingham, Caicedo. If De Jong's available for 70 million, I know we have high wages, but Premier League teams are going to be all over him.
Yeah, 100%. I think he looks like he's made for the Premier League in high intensity as well. And he looks like he'll be a calming influence as well as showing real intensity off the ball. You know what I mean? Calming influence on it, intensity off it, and that's exactly what you need in the Premier League. So I think it would be a massive buy for anybody. I hate to say this, I think he'd suit the current Arsenal team probably best of all in the way he plays, but they've obviously got Thomas Partey in that position.
We'll just take Partey off the hands then, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because he's absolute quality as well. Such a difficult position to play, and finding players of that quality, it just transforms your team. It really does, and it seems to be the new position where everybody wants to have that kind of player of that quality in there. You know, the player who plays the furthest back, they call it kind of a six, don't they? And it's so important to have players of that ability. Somebody who can calm the game, someone who dictates the pace of the game, someone who tells people what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right, and encourages them to either go forward or hold, depending on the type of ball they want to play and the type of movement they want to make. And it's literally the conductor for the rest of the team at points now. Certainly in the top end, in the elite level of European football.
I hope Old Trafford's hypnotised him tonight. Fell under the spell, mate. Fell under the spell.
I thought it was quite. I thought it was quite quiet first half. To be fair, I was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's get on to the game.
Yeah.
Bruno, 2 minutes in. If that chance is falling to Rashford, that's a goal. It was almost a carbon copy of the finish against Leicester on Sunday, and he just took that wrong touch a little bit too wide and made it quite easy for Ter Stegen. But I thought that's the last thing I need is Man United going 1-0 up after 2 minutes. Travel be buzzing.
Ter Stegen's top though, isn't he? Like, he took ages to go down. He didn't make it easy for Bruno in terms of making that decision. I mean, if you look at the difference between him and Danny Ward for Leicester, Danny Ward was diving as he took his touch, man. He just made it easy for him, didn't he? Like, he just left the corner gaping. But yeah, I think Ter Stegen's a top keeper. He closes down angles. He's not the tallest, but his flexibility and his reactions are just unbelievable. And like you said, it was a smart save because he just didn't leave Bruno any room on that far post to shoot, to be honest with you. So it was, you would say Bruno should score from there because of the time that he had, but I think the keeper did well with that one. But it would have been a great start for us. I think after that chance, we went flat there. I think it was all Barcelona after that. Like, we started with our tails up first 5 minutes. I thought, all right, we started really well here. But then once Barca took a foothold in the game, we just couldn't get the ball off them. Obviously, then the penalty came, and after the penalty, before half time, De Gea slap kick gifted them another opportunity. I thought we were lucky not to go in 2-0 down in the game at half time. So I think it was a bit of a blessing that we went in at 1-0, to be fair. So yeah, it was a poor first half from United.
It was another great block from Casemiro as well, with another chance, wasn't it? Like you say, Barca could have went 1-0 up, but yeah, Bruno, after he missed that chance, it was on him to go up the other end and make a forwards challenge in the box. I mean, what was he doing? Anywhere on the pitch, that's just a straightforward free kick, pulling him back. But in the box, they kept playing it and saying, are VAR going to get involved? I'm thinking there's nothing to get involved. He proper grabs him, spins him round. Was it a penalty for you?
Yeah, it's a penalty for me. I think, like you said, people are going to say it's soft or whatever, but at the end of the day, he's grabbed his arm in the box and pulled him to the floor. Like you said, anywhere else on the pitch, it's a standard free kick. There would have been no complaints. I think the fact that it's in the box is what caused a little bit of uproar. But no, for me, it was the correct decision. I did think the ref was a little bit stop-start with some of the challenges in the first half, not just from a United sense, from both teams. I think he was stopping the game quite a bit. That suited Barca after the game. We were getting a little bit frustrated. I think the crowd were getting frustrated. Ten Hag was quite animated as well. And I thought at the time it was probably going to be one of those nights, to be fair. I was thinking that at half time. I wasn't definitive that we were going to get back into the game. The timing of the equalizer was perfect. Straight after half time, that gave everybody in the place a lift. And that just gave us the confidence to sort of see it through. So, yeah, again, I just think for me, it was a stick-on penalty without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, you could feel the rush when Anthony come on, didn't you? And I know Fred shin wrapped it into the bottom corner, but it was a nice layoff from Bruno to give him the opportunity to do so. But what about Lewandowski's penalty? I thought he got fortunate there. Them stuttered run up. I thought David De Gea was unlucky.
I thought he should have saved it. When I looked at the replay, it was pretty straight. I don't think it is. He doesn't hit it in the corner. It's not a strong wrist at all. I think he probably should have saved it. But De Gea's penalty record is terrible. In the Europa League, he didn't save one pen. Then he missed, and in the final, we lost it. And his track record on pens is poor. When he first came, it was decent, but since after about the first 3 to 4 years, he's not good on penalties at all. So
see, the clever thing is, I think Lewandowski knew when he stuttered, he'd got it wrong.
Yeah.
So he played it higher, and I think that's a planned moment, and he just about got away with it.
Yeah,
because De Gea slipped a little as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
When you stutter and they don't go, and you still don't know which way to put it, you've lost momentum. So I think he went a bit higher, and that's what got it just over the line in the end. So I think it was intelligent, but it's intelligence from a mistake. Because for me, the stutter, it's gone. You shouldn't be doing it. You're running up and putting your foot through it, knowing where you're going to put it, and then just run back to the halfway line, knowing you've scored a goal.
I want to touch on Sancho, Trav.
Yeah.
And OB, I want to make a little comparison, but I don't want to make it about Liverpool or Man City. But Jack Grealish takes a lot of stick for not living up to the £100 million price tag. Darwin Núñez gets a lot of stick. He's a bit of a comedy figure. And it's, amongst rival fans, they love to stick the boot in. Trav and OB, why does Sancho not really receive much critique or negative feedback? I mean, his lack of influential moments, his lack of statistics, goals, assists, it's almost like it's taboo to criticize him. I know he's had his off-the-field issues, but again, like I say, I didn't hear or see him for the first 30 minutes. He didn't improve much after that. What is it? How is he received in the Man United fan base? Is it kind of still he's one for the future, or?
No, I think they like what he can potentially bring as an individual, but no, he's had his fair share of critics from the fans. To be fair, he has. Maybe not as much as like your Grealishes and the players that you've just mentioned, but he has received quite a bit of stick. Like for 80 million, like you said, his productivity just isn't there in terms of numbers, goals, and assists. I think what people see individually as a player, similar to the Martial thing, like he's a talent. That's what you hear from him. Like he's capable. But like you said, productivity has to be a lot higher for somebody that costs £80 million. Maybe this new position that Ten Hag's playing him in may help him in the future as like a number 10. I actually do think it will suit him more than playing on the wing, because he ain't got that pace and power. He's not going to blitz you down the line. He's not going to knock it past you, like do you for strength, get crosses in. He's not that type of all action. He's sort of a combination player, likes to link little 1-2s in and around. He's intelligent in that sense. So maybe a prolonged spell in the number 10 would help him. But again, like you said, because we play Bruno there a lot more when Anthony's available, it doesn't really start enough games to see the best out of him, because we're going to be rotating him a lot. So again, it's going to be interesting. I think you'll see him more as a squad player over the next few years. But I think Ten Hag likes what he can do. I think he's been impacting games well recently off the bench. And like you said, he's still young. And I think if you're going to compete on all fronts for the biggest trophies, eventually that's where Man United want to be. They're going to need a squad. And I think we're seeing him, going to see him more as a rotational player rather than a starter. That's my opinion.
Obi, I don't mind admitting that I wanted him as the heir to the throne to Mane and Salah. Were you the same? Can you remember that far back 2-3 years ago? And
I can remember.
Have we dodged a bullet?
I always thought he was a red flag, and I'll tell you why. Guardiola got rid of him, papped him off, and he wasn't bothered about papping him off. He didn't have any interest in trying to buy him back, and he papped him off. Now that says to me there's either something wrong with his attitude, or he just didn't rate him. And then he's gone over to Germany. He's done well in a Dortmund team that was very much suited to what the way he played. And I was so glad we didn't purchase him. And I've seen nothing to change my mind on that. I do think he's an overrated footballer. I just don't see. I don't see where the how much money did they pay for him?
80, yeah.
Wow.
I think for me it was that he wasn't getting in the England team or even the squad. So I thought that was a red flag to me.
And also as well, I'd say Sancho's got a lot more about him than Sancho has. You know what I mean? And how that's even a debate about who starts the games or who should start the games, and that guy isn't a starter for United, even with the current squad. And like I say, I've never truly understood the hype behind him. He had a decent time in Dortmund, and he was all right. But that's a massive red flag. If Guardiola doesn't fancy you and he's not interested in buying you back, what does that say to you guys? It says there's something going on there, isn't there? And it will either be attitude or ability. I've seen nothing to say his ability is the level of an £80 million footballer. And I don't know the guy well enough to know his attitude, but I suspect there's probably something going on there as well.
So can you actually see him for the future then, Trav? Or could you envisage him getting punted on in the summer? And if so, what kind of price are we talking?
Not this summer. I think it will be make or break for him. I think there's some big decisions to make this summer. We know we need a striker. Then you've got, is Rashford's permanent position in off the left? You would think it is going to be, because we're getting a striker. So Rashford's going to play there. So if you think of the makeup of the front four, you've got the new striker, Rashford one side, Anthony's going to be the other side, and Bruno's going to be the other side. So then underneath that, in terms of your squad, you've definitely got Garnacho. Sancho is the one with the question mark above him as to, I think, at the end of next season, we'll make a decision on him, whether he's going to be part of the long-term future. And then you've got Mason Greenwood as well, which I don't want to go into any great detail because he's still obviously suspended by the club, so I'm not going to talk about it. But like, if he comes back and he's proven, whatever's proven comes out of the verdict and he does end up playing, it's going to be interesting to see if Ten Hag wants to integrate him into the squad. So there's a lot of questions to be answered in the summer. Like I said, that's a very sensitive case, so I'm not going to touch on it for the moment. But I think you've got Rashford, you've got Anthony, you've got Bruno, and you've got a new, well, top centre forward that you think would come in the club. That's going to be the front four, I would say, at the start of next season. Sancho and Garnacho underneath that. That's 6. Will they add another one? Depends on Greenwood. Will they not? But like I said, I don't think Sancho will be moved on this season, but I think next season is going to be make or break for him, certainly.
I was thinking, watching the first half, I'm glad from a Liverpool point of view that Man United haven't got a beast of a centre forward, because Weghorst was struggling. So I made a note to bring it up in the poddy tonight that Man United will be serious when they've got that striker. And then when I seen the team come out for the second half, he got hooked at half time. And I thought, no wonder they must have been listening to Scotty's thoughts. Are you a little bit gutted that this far into the season, competing on all four fronts, and you haven't got an upgrade, a better striker?
I'm gutted in a sense. Yes, I am. But at the same time, I didn't expect the club to go and like bust the market because we didn't have the money. Do you know what I mean? We weren't going to break the bank in January. We hadn't got the money to do that. I know we want Osimhen in the summer or a Kane. They're the two names that we've been heavily linked with. Those two players weren't available in January anyway, even if we had the funds. Tottenham and Napoli wouldn't have let those players go. Like you said, Napoli are flying in the league, still in the Champions League. They look like they're going to go through in their tie. So there's no way those strikers would have been available. So we've ridiculed the club for rushing, making rash decisions, getting players on 2-year contracts like your Cavani's and your Ronaldo's and stuff. I'm not going to then turn around and criticize the club for getting a 6-month loan. Weghorst can pack his bags and go in the summer. He's done a job for us. It's not been a great job by any stretch, but it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? The objectives before the start of the season were top 4. That looks like we're going to get the top 4, to be perfectly honest. I'd be very disappointed if we didn't get the top 4 from this stage. Any trophies on top of that are going to be a bonus. Nobody even expected us to finish in the top 4. So as much as we spent 250 million, we're still overachieving in terms of him coming in and doing what he's doing. I don't know if people will agree with me on that. They might not. I'm not sure. That's just my opinion. I think we're doing better than we thought Man United would be doing. To be third in the league, I don't think anybody envisaged us to be third. So we'll see where we finish. We might not finish third. We might finish 4th. We might finish outside the top 4. There's a lot of football still to be played. But I'd be disappointed from this stage if we didn't finish in the top 4. So, yeah, I'm glad the club didn't rush into the market and just go and break the bank for absolutely anyone, because I think we'll wait to the summer and it'll be a priority.
With hindsight, here's the $1 million question. Would Ronaldo be more effective in this team right now from January the 1st? No. Would you be performing better with Ronaldo than Weghorst?
No, because he's playing in the 10, Weghorst. So Ronaldo in the 10, just that wouldn't have. Do you know what I mean? I think Weghorst is sort of known for his pressing qualities, which he's doing. I think he just looks awkward in possession. Like when we did win the ball back and it went into him, like because he lacks so much mobility, when you want to turn quick, turn sharp, play passes, things like that, you can't play through him. That's the thing. That's the most awkward thing I think about Weghorst. When it's into his feet and you're trying to play through him, it looks very awkward and it breaks down a lot and he's very gangly and languid. So no, I think Ronaldo would have been of the same ilk in that sense. I'm not comparing Ronaldo and Weghorst as players.
No, it was me that asked you the question.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that Weghorst is in the team because he's doing a job defensively. That's it. That's why he's in the team. He keeps a shape for us. That's the only impact he's having on the team. He's not really having an offensive impact. He hasn't scored in the league. We're not using him for offensive purposes. We're carrying him in that sense. So Ronaldo, I think, would have been the same, really, to be honest.
And Rashford might not have been as effective as he has been if you had someone in the centre as a number 9 wanting all the goals in the limelight themselves. Football Frere is in the chat. How you doing, Jose? Glad you can join us. Big up, brother. What a game tonight. Man United go through. Your beloved Barca. Let us know what you're thinking. Come on if you want, Jose. I've sent you the link. If you're free for the next 10 minutes, come on. Malia's come on. Good evening. How you doing, Malia? You okay? Congratulations, right. United. Travis is very happy. Look at that Colgate smile.
Berries are out.
The quad is still on, and Obi's grimacing. I've got a fake smile on, to be honest. Well done to them. Yeah, it is. Listen, it's the Europa League. Someone who supports Liverpool, we've got heritage in Europe. A lot of fans say that Europe's where we belong and you shouldn't ever turn your nose up to any European competition. I'm not the same. However, Ten Hag, well, as you both know, I'm not the same. Ten Hag would love to get this Europa League on his CV, wouldn't he?
Yeah, massively. I think so.
I just don't think it's a priority for United this season, and I'm wondering if United go out and lose the Carabao Cup final on Sunday and they look tired I wonder what impact that would have on the season and the fans' opinion. You know, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
The thing is, it's getting to the nitty gritty now, isn't it, Trav? Like
Yeah.
it is literally 2 games every week. I know you can get the League Cup in the bag on
what
Sunday.
Is the priority though? Like Ten Hag's been drawn a hand where we were in the Europa League. Do you know what I mean? We finished outside the top 4. We're in the Europa League. This is the hand he's been drawn. So like, unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles in terms of the way the fixtures lie. Thursday, Sunday. You know, if you're in the Europa League, you play when you play the games. You know what I mean? So up until this point, I think we're on course, and like I said, we're over exceeding where we should be to be in an EFL Cup final, through in Europa League, in an FA Cup 5th round, and 3rd in the league. You can't ask for more than that from his perspective. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, I think let's say we go out of one of those competitions, United weren't expected to win any of those competitions anyway. Like Man City really should win the EFL Cup every year. They've got 2 unbelievable teams. And if the rest their whole 11 can compete with everybody else's first team in the Premier League. For them to not win the EFL Cup every year, it's not a shambles, but like it's a tough competition to win for everybody else to win, because everybody else plays the second string and they've still got a strong team in that competition. It's similar with the FA Cup as well. So I think we're in a fantastic position. And as I said before earlier in the stream, I don't think Ten Hag's really seeing anything as a priority at the moment. He's going into every game and he's just thinking he wants to win it. That's it.
The thing is, it's not even that you set out a priority, is it, at the start of the season? Like Liverpool, when we were on for the quad last year, it seems light years away now, OB, but sometimes it kind of just springs upon you, because we were playing the youths and the reserves in the League Cup, the FA Cup, and then all of a sudden you're in a semi-final and you've got a plum draw in the FA Cup. Obviously, you're going to go for the League and Champs League, so it kind of becomes a priority when it gets down to the nitty gritty. And I think that's what Hag's doing now. So like you say, he's in the FA Cup or the League Cup. He's in the final now. And obviously Europa League with the sides he's been picking. He's not willing to give any of them up, is he?
I think
go
on, Obi.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think eventually you'll have to make a choice. I just don't think it's possible to keep what we've got to remember is we're in February. And if you want to, if you keep progressing in all these competitions, what is it, last 16? So there's going to be a load of other games in the Europa League if you want to go all the way in that. And then you've got the FA Cup, which has still got a few rounds left. The Carabao Cup final will be done on Sunday, so that'll be gone either way. So you can either pocket that or whatever. You're going to play that game anyway. And then the intensity of the games towards the end of the season, and it's a lot. And there's going to be points where he's going to have to go, especially injuries to some key players. Say Casemiro or Rashford get injured or pick up a little bit of niggle, or they see signs that one of these guys is tired or struggling. They're going to have to prioritise certain games. And I think that's the reality of it. And you can get lucky in draws up to a point, but in the end, you just either have to throw your best team onto the pitch or rest a few and hope that you've got enough to win some of these games. And I think that's the point he's going to hit eventually.
This might sound weird, but I think we'll actually sacrifice the league, because we might not believe we're going to win the league. If we go further in the cup competition.
Yeah, see, I was pretty much going to say the same thing, Trav. But if Arsenal keep dropping and Man City keep dropping, it's almost like a convenient, right, well, I better go strong again.
Yeah.
Not saying that they wouldn't want to be up there, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. You know, if they drop
burst,
it, like, right,
you could burst, and that's the other danger. And I imagine he's probably his biggest friend's going to be the physio department and the medical department from now to the end of the season. Because what happened with Liverpool last year was we played so many games that it's had a lasting impact on the team, and I think everybody can see that. And I imagine he doesn't want to let that happen. So he's going to have to sacrifice or believe in his squad, or believe that 3 or 4 players are going to be able to be rotated in certain games, and give himself that opportunity to compete in the games, or he's just going to have to write a couple of games off completely. And I don't know what that looks like, because that would be very interesting. And you might see people like Maguire and that coming back into the team, and that he'll pick and choose what games he thinks he can do that in. But it'll be interesting to see what happens when he does that.
That's what I was going to say. He'll be playing Maguire, Lindelof, Malacia, Dallo. I mean, that's a whole different back four. And the drop-off isn't crazy when you name them like that, is it, Trav? And then McTominay. Is McTominay injured?
McTominay's back now. He came back against
McTominay's back. Sancho wants games. Anthony's back. He wants games. Rashford, Garnacho wants games. Ericsson will be back. Football Frere just said he's just finished his stream. He's a Barcelona fan. I can't remember if I told you, Trav. I'm sure you remember.
Oh, is he?
He's always on our streams. Anyway, congratulations to Man United. Over 2 legs they deserve, and they showed they want it more than Barca, as Barca's priority is La Liga.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, Jose, watching my beloved Liverpool on Tuesday night against Real Madrid, Barca must be some team to be 8 points ahead of them, because they were incredible. I agree with the boys. Nice one. Cheers, mate. But yeah, if Ten Hag can get this first one in the bag on Sunday, which Trav hopes, me and Obi are hoping for a tsunami win. Man of the match, Loris Karius. You could get a plum draw in the Europa League, which again, like we just said, you could play some of the Maguires, Lindelof, Malacia, McTominay, Sancho on the right, Garnacho on the left, and you could coast through to the quarterfinal of that, and anything's possible, isn't it?
Oh, for sure.
Imagine Hag come in and won a quadruple of sorts. It's not the Champions League in his first season.
It's beyond what you could ever imagine. It's not, obviously, I don't think it's going to happen, but it'd be unbelievable. Even if he can just win 2 out of the 4, it would be a great return. Like you said, the priority is the top 4, and it always has been. People didn't think we were going to get it at the start of the season. We're in a really, really good position now. If we can get in the top 4 and nick a cup or 2, you just don't know. It'd be an unbelievable first season for him, and it looks like we're going to get stronger as well. I think we will get stronger. You can see the glaring places in the squad that need upgrading, most definitely. Like I think we need a new keeper. De Jong would go perfectly right next to Casemiro. That's the type of player that we need next to him. Where Fred is. Fred did unbelievable today, but he is a squad player for me. And a top class striker is just going to take us to another level. So I think it's exciting for United. Definitely, I think the biggest signing that we've made this season is Ten Hag. Do you know what I mean? He really is. Do you know what I mean? He's just changed the mentality of the place. And like you said, when you look at rival fans now, I'm not saying, by all means, I'm not saying they're scared, but you can see that we're actually a competitive team now. We're sort of serious about wanting to make an impact on the pitch now. Everything and the attention sort of turned back to football, and you can see that we're serious about wanting to make the team successful again.
Do you remember I called him Eric 10 Sherwood?
Yeah. After the first couple of games.
The Brighton and Brentford game.
You're calling him Bob Bradley in that.
Bob Bradley, brilliant. Jose Ferreira, he says the best Sunday final win can give to Man United. That is true. It could be a boost, but it can also be detrimental as well. Like they've got something in the bag already. They become a bit complacent. It can work both ways. I've seen it happen to Liverpool. I don't know if you remember, Obi, we won the League Cup one year and we were horrendous after that. I think it was that Gerrard and Owen final when we beat Man U 2003, was it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. We really dropped off. And
I mean, I'm not suggesting that happened at Man United, but it can happen.
It can happen.
Well, I mean, winning the massive trophy of the last 16 playoff, obviously there will be a drop-off now to the Carabao Cup final, won't it? So we'll see what happens.
The Champions League Qualification Cup, we call it. 9 people watching. Vamos, bring the likes up, people. Yeah, really appreciate the 9 that are tuning in. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to hear me More from me and my colleagues, James and Travis. And get your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you thought of the game tonight. I presume you're all Man United fans or Barca fans. Let us know what went wrong. Trav.
Yeah.
This squad, I know you've said you're going to bring in a striker.
Yeah.
We all think it'll be Osimhen. It could be Kane. What kind of money do you think they're going to spend again in the summer? And forget the buyout. Let's say the buyout isn't happening.
Okay.
Is it another 250 million on the plate?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Obi, how can we compete with that?
Let's be real. It's a top draw striker. Could be 2 attacking players when you think about it. 1 to 2 attacking players, another midfield player to go alongside Casemiro. You'd think one of the midfielders that we've got will make way, because we've still got Donny van der Beek who's out for the season. He's probably going to make way, him or McTominay. I know West Ham have been linked heavily with McTominay for 40 million. Snap your hand off for that. Maguire's obviously going to go as well. That leaves Varane, Martinez, Lindelof.
What? Wind back. Someone's willing to pay £40 million for McTominay.
Yeah, he's been linked with West Ham. 40 million he's been linked with.
I hate admitting this, but I rate him.
David
Trav,
Moyes,
you know, I've said in the group. I've said in the group for a couple of years now. When they had Pogba, Obi, I said that McTominay was their best midfielder, and I still stand by that McTominay's better than Pogba. Obi's grimacing again.
I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. How's McTominay worth 40?
Sees him as the new Pogba. I mean, as the new Declan Rice. That's what David Moyes says. Says McTominay is the new Declan Rice. That's it. So
Jose's back in the comments. He says United is back, boys. Ten Hag is bringing the mentality that we haven't seen since Ferguson. Maybe not even with Mourinho. We saw this mentality. Still a winner mentality, but different kind of mentality. Is Jose crazy, Trav? Is Jose crazy? You just mentioned Ten Hag in the same sentence as Fergie. Do you rate him that high? Surely it's way too early for that.
A little bit, but I know what he's saying when he says it. Football Ferreira is definitely on the right page. We're on the same page. I like him a lot, to be honest, even more after that comment. But yeah, in terms of the mentality, he's totally changed it from what it was like under Ollie. And people can throw Rangnick in there as well, but Rangnick wasn't signed to be a coach, really. He was meant to be a consultant, and he messed up because he opened his mouth in press conferences and he was launched. But yeah, it's chalk and cheese in comparison to what it was under Ollie. It's just astronomically different. And the way he's sort of like, I mean, if you think back to Ollie, he wasn't even starting Varane. He was on the bench. Do you know what I mean? Like, so many, he was being benched for Maguire. Like, he was picking the wrong team for a start with what we had. And then on top of that, just the way the squad would just rule in the roost and just had all the power. Ollie had no control over what was happening. We was just, towards the end, we were getting packed in away at Watford. I can remember it was my birthday and we were in Birmingham. Can you remember when we was watching it on the video printer?
I remember
every Watford goal that went in, I was rubbing my hands when I was like, he's got to go tonight, hasn't he? And just before we went out, he got sacked. I was like, I knew it. I absolutely knew it. And then Rangnick came in, and that was a bit of a shambles from then till May. But yeah, I think Ten Hag, he looks at home as well. Like, this was a big challenge for him as well. Don't forget, Ajax to Manchester United is a big step up as well in terms of that stage, and I think he's taken to that like a duck to water at the
moment. Rangnick, is that the same Rangnick that you called a genius move?
Yeah.
But listen, in the group chat, this is my claim to fame. I said to you, Man United will win again one day, didn't I, Trav?
You did, yeah.
And I said, save this WhatsApp message. When you start winning, Maguire will be nowhere near this team. Did I say that?
No, you did. You did. I'll give you that one. Yeah, you did.
Ten Hag's come in. Maguire's nowhere near the team, and you're winning again.
It took him two games to realise.
To be fair, I wrote that message in 2019, was it?
Yeah.
Maybe 2020.
I'll be honest, you were right, and like you said, he's a big bag of nerves. Like even when he plays now, he's had a huge confidence knock, and you just don't feel confident every time the ball goes near him. You think a mistake's going to happen, but yeah, I still think 200 to 220 million this summer. Midfielder, striker, cover at centre half, and a goalkeeper again, and I think we'll go again definitely.
I'm honestly worried that it'll be just a striker. We'll take him to potentially a proper title charge. Obi, do they need more than that? Basically,
Yeah,
if
I
Kane
think
come
they do.
in like Van Persie, I'm worried that would take them to the league.
I think they would have too much of a game. Like if you look at the first half today in the game against Arsenal, they were never really in control of them games. And I think in the big games, I think they probably need more than a striker. And I think Trav agrees with me in as much as they need somebody in midfield to control the football game a little bit more. Can't rely on just Casemiro to do it. I think they need a little bit more in there. But they do seem to be going in the right direction. So we'll wait and see what happens. We'll wait and see. And it could be that Ten Hag has a great first season, starts to struggle in the second season. You know what I mean? And that I've seen that happen before as well. So I think he's still got a long way to go. But there is promising signs for them, to be fair.
Yeah,
So I'm going to shoot as well anyway, mate. I'm going to go.
Cheers for coming, Obi.
Maybe. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Well done.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. See you later, mate.
Bye.
I'm not tempting fate, Trav, but a second season dip, it's not unheard of, is it?
Second season syndrome, yeah. It does exist.
When the first season a new boss comes in, he demands high levels of intensity. So it can be adrenaline based through fear of being the new boss. I don't expect it myself. I can't see it, especially if you add more in the summer, and especially if it's another 250 million. Imagine an Osimhen and De Jong come in.
I'm just licking my lips, mate. Like John just said in the comments, mate, big up United.
Big up United. John Raphael, thanks for joining us, mate.
Big up United, mate. I'm on a high, mate, because like you said, if we had a top striker to that threat in the box, because at the moment, like you said, if Rash ain't really getting the goals, then you just worry a little bit who else is going to score consistently for us. If we had a striker that's going to add 20 goals to this team, like an Osimhen, young, hungry, can go in behind, can hold it up, Drogba type, it's going to be scary. It really is. We had that Osimhen type. And like you said, we miss Eriksen as well. Like people take it for granted. Like he was a big player for us in the first half of the season in terms of controlling the game, like Obi was alluding to. Eriksen's one of the best passers in the league. He was unbelievable with Casemiro. And we were really controlling games and being on the front foot with him. So Eriksen's been a big miss for us. Obviously, Fred's been doing a good job in there, more of a box-to-box, tenacious, wins the ball back. His recoveries, statistically, Fred's recoveries have been great. In terms of that quality on the ball, though, Eriksen that he gives us, we miss him massively. So, yeah, I think that's why I think we will add another midfield player. And I think a mixture of Casemiro, Fred, Eriksen, another top draw as you four, and then maybe one more. I'm just trying to think of the names. Like we've got Kobe Mino coming through the academy as well. I think Ten Hag rates him highly. He's only 17. He might be that player. That's the fifth midfielder in there. And like, I think McTominay will be the one that makes way.
Football Ferreira says Camp Nou better than Anfield and Old Trafford together, boys. I've never been there, Jose. I presume you have. Trav, have you ever been to Camp Nou?
I've been there, not to watch a game, but I've been on tour there. I've been on tour there years ago, to be fair. It's such a nice stadium. Did the stadium tour. It's unbelievable. It's huge. Does it hold like nearly 100,000? I'm sure it holds high 90s, don't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Jose says Fred's been class recently. Not a fan of Fred, but he's been doing well. Yeah, you missed it in the stream, Jose. He was incredible tonight. And we don't just mean that shin wrap goal that he scored. I mean, like box to box, his control, getting involved, breaking up the play. He done really well next to Casemiro. He must love playing next to Casemiro, his national teammate. I bet they give each other the confidence.
Yeah, I think so. He makes a big difference who he sits next to. I think when he's next to like a Sabitzer or an Ericsson when Casemiro got suspended, he's that one who sort of is tries to be the more disciplined out of the two, like picks the ball up off the centre halves and tries to start play and tries to screen the back four a little bit, and it doesn't suit him at all. So like when he's that box to box, all action, can get around the pitch, put tackles in and stuff. He's one of those people that just needs to be flying about, smashing into people, Fred. And that's where I think he's at his best. So yeah, with Casemiro next to him, it definitely brings the best out of his game.
Jose says Camp Nou holds 100,000.
Yeah.
And he said on his stream that Fred was man of the match. We didn't agree with that, Jose. We said that Frankie de Jong was man of the match. I thought he was different gravy. He was absolute class. And I'd have him at Liverpool any day of the week, especially at the reported 70 million he was available for. And Trav said the same.
Yeah.
He would complete that midfield for you, really, wouldn't he, Trav?
Yeah, he definitely would, without a doubt.
De Jong and Casemiro in there with Fred and Ericsson as backups. Bruno just advanced off them.
Yeah, it'd be unbelievable. Yeah, it really would. I think a midfielder will be a priority along with a striker in the summer for sure. I think we've got a big decision to make on De Gea as well, because again in the game he made an unbelievable save in the second half on Koundé's header, that I thought was going straight into the top corner, if you can remember that save.
Yeah.
But he's kicking in the first half. It's got in a scary way. It's got a little bit better, but still nowhere near good enough.
I think De Gea is playing out of his skin, Trav. I feel like maybe the last 10 games that I've watched Man United, he's done a world-class save that should have been a definite goal in probably 6 or 7 of them. I think he's back to his best.
He'll always do that.
I'm quite shocked that you'd prefer a kind of keeper upgrade in the summer. I feel like he's back.
I know what you're saying when you say that as well. Like, I can't disagree. And in some cases, like his saves, some of the saves he makes, like he says, he has no right to save them. He makes some unbelievable saves. Like he really,
especially that one against Leicester on Sunday, that Gordon Banks one.
Yeah, the Harvey Barnes. Yeah, definitely. But I just think ultimately, from where we want to be, whether it's the end of this season or next season, where I think Ten Hag wants to be and the way he wants to play, I just think we need a keeper that's so much more assured on the ball, because like we've got the makings of a good ball playing defense in terms of like Martinez so good on the ball, Shaw's really good on the ball, Dallo I think is not bad with his distribution at all, and I think he will get better. So that's 3 out of the 4. I don't think Varane's the strongest in possession, but he's such a good sweeper and so quick and so physical that he makes the great blend with Martinez. But I think we just need that keeper where when you pass it back to him, he just makes the right decision. And you can tell De Gea gets nervous when the ball goes back to him. That's why you see a lot of his long distance kicking he does with his instep. It's weird because it's like when he kicks it with his laces, he can't get the lift that he wants on it. He shanks it. Like he can't really strike it clean with his laces. So you notice, watch De Gea in the coming games, he does a lot of kicking with his instep because he's not confident and he just wants to hit it high and as far as possible.
Jose says De Jong was our best midfield today. Yes, but our midfield was rubbish today. Kessie needs to go.
It's an interesting one about Kessie, that is, because when he signed in the summer, I can remember chatting to one of my boys about Kessie, and they said, I'd love Kessie in our midfield. He's a tank. And when he was at AC Milan, he had that like physical prowess. It's just like one of those players, you couldn't knock him on the ball and off the ball. But when you look at Barca's midfield, like you said, with Busquets aging and Kessie and De Jong sort of, Kessie wants to do that sort of box-to-box role, similar to sort of what De Jong can do, but he just hasn't got the technical ability. So like Football Ferreira said today in the game, he struggled a little bit from a technical standpoint. And that's why you could tell they wanted Bernardo Silva so much in the summer, because he would just slot straight into that midfield. And especially with Gabby and Pedri being out, they were huge misses today.
Jose, let us know what the situation is with Frankie de Jong. Does he want out? Has he been paid the wages? Are Barcelona looking to get him off the wage bill? Because the commentator said that they need to trim 200 million from the wage bill next next season. So let us know if Frankie de Jong is going to be available in the summer, because I want him at Liverpool. Trav wants him at United. In the meantime, Jose says De Gea is brilliant. Still a great keeper for me, for sure. If the team don't look good, doesn't help the keeper. Look at Alisson, who's class, but looks shit around Gomez, etc. Yeah,
that's a fair point.
I dread to think where Liverpool would be right now if it wasn't for Alisson. He's playing in a struggling team, but I've seen a stat on Twitter today or yesterday saying he's got the highest save percentage out of the whole league. And that's testament to him. He's going to win the Liverpool Player of the season without a shadow of a doubt. It's not even up for question. Eric Trav Haag. Pick your team for Sunday.
Cup final Sunday.
Cup final Sunday.
Yeah, I think back five is De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Luke Shaw, Casemiro. That back six is just staple. That's got to be our strongest so far. Fred next to Casemiro, Sabitzer on the bench, and then the front four. I'm going.
The pressure's on. The pressure's on.
I'm going Bruno in the centre, Anthony on the right, Garnacho on the left, and Rashford up top. That's what I would do personally, but I think he will go Weghorst. But I would personally play that. That's what I would do. And
That's
then
a
if
lot
you
of
need
pace in your team.
Yeah, and then if you need to change the game, obviously you can bring Sancho on in the cam, put Bruno on the right. If Anthony can't play at full 90, then if you're really desperate for a goal, you bring on Weghorst last 10, don't you, and just throw crosses into the box. That would be the play for me, personally. But I think, yeah, there's plenty in that team to cause Newcastle a lot of pace and power. They're very tall at the back, very strong, very powerful. So I think you're going to need to approach the game where you need a lot of flair in your team, a lot of pace. I don't think they'll deal with that. Runners in behind. You saw what Nunes did to him last week. You saw what Salah did to him last week. You saw what Gakpo did to him last week. So I think the way to beat Newcastle is by using pacing behind a lot and attacking them in between the centre halves and the fullbacks.
Are you worried at all? Give us a prediction. The first trophy's in the bag, yeah?
I think so. I probably should be more worried than I am, but I'm very confident going into the game. I think this result's going to do us the world of good. Newcastle have obviously had a week to prepare, but they're off the back of a poor result at home to Liverpool. I don't think they'll be feeling as confident. I think they'll be a little bit scared going into the game as well. I think with some of the leaders we've got in there with Casemiro, Bruno and stuff like that, I just think we'll rise to the occasion. I'm going to go 2-0 United, to be honest. I think 2-0 is going to be the scoreline. I'm confident going into the game. I think we'll dominate the game. I think Newcastle will look to sort of play on the counter-attack through St. Max, similar to what they did against Liverpool with 10 men. But I just think we'll have too much from in an attacking sense, too much pace, too much power. And I'm hoping that we get the result.
I think you will as well, to be honest. I don't think you got anything to worry about. We've got 15 people watching us. Big up everyone that's watching us, tuning in for Manchester United dispatching Barcelona with relative ease. A fantastic performance through to the next round in the draw. The quad is still on. Don't forget to smash the likes and hit the subscribe if you're new to the channel. Jose is on a rant in the comments. I love it, brother. Kessie can't play Barca football.
Yeah, he can't.
He wants Kessie out on a free by the sounds of things. He's box-to-box physical player. On the ball at great work rate. 15 people watching. Yes, vamos. De Jong not leaving. He got new house. Oh, Jose, what are you doing to me? Getting married in Barcelona soon. He loves Barca too much. Loves the city too. We did everything to sell him in the summer, and the boy still forced Barca to stay. There you go, from the horse's mouth, from our Barca correspondent, Trav. So De Jong is off the market.
We actually agreed a fee with him and with his agent in the summer. We agreed a fee with the club. We agreed agent fees and everything, but he just literally gave it the Leonardo DiCaprio and was like, I'm not leaving, mate. He literally was not leaving Barca for shit. He literally was not leaving under any circumstances. So fair play to him. He stuck to his guns. Obviously, there was that deferred wage saga that went on all summer. That didn't even come into play in the end. It was just a case of him not wanting to go, and Barca somehow sorted that out. So yeah, it sounds like from Football Ferreira that he's going to be quite key to them and quite instrumental. He's obviously been instrumental this season because they were playing him centre off and everything. They were trying their best to get him out, but now he's back in midfield. He looks like a mainstay in there.
And it's paid off as well because I don't want to jinx it for you, Jose, but they're going to win the league.
Yeah,
So
Barca,
paid off.
8 points. I can't see Real Madrid clawing that back. Like you said, the deeper they go into the Champions League, they're probably going to prioritize that. And with Barca being out, they can have a clear run at the league now. So you'd fancy Barcelona to hold on at the top of La Liga.
Ravi beat Carey. Thanks for joining us, Ravi. Big up, but no quad is happening for United this season. I think we've already covered that.
On, Rav.
Come on,
Rav. Come on, Ravi, mate.
Rav and Trav.
Rav and
Trav. Got to thrash it out. It is obviously it's unlikely, but get the first one in the bag. That's 3. That's 3 down. If City and Arsenal keep dropping points, which they have done in the last 4 or 5 games, both of them, anything's possible.
Are you a little bit scared we might win the league?
Yeah, I said at the start of the stream, you're in a title race.
Yeah.
Obi quashed it quick sharp, but I think you're in it. And it's not so much that I think you've got the quality to do it, as in, I think you're a striker light. If you had an upgrade on Weghorst, I'd be a lot more worried. But I just don't think Arsenal are going to win it. And I feel like City are throwing it away. Pep is throwing it away. No left back, sending Cancelo out on loan, mixing up his formations, mixing up his starting lineup, keeping De Bruyne on the bench. Haaland looks one-dimensional at his worst.
Yeah.
Devastating at his best, of course. But there's still a third of a season to go. Anything can happen. I'm not ruling anything out. I'm just going to sit back and hope that City win it because it's easier for me to swallow as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, like you said, City aren't quite at it. We're 3 off City, 5 off Arsenal. And I think I've looked at our fixtures and we still have got some tough away games left. We've still got to go to Spurs. They beat City on the day. We've still got to go to Anfield next league game. And we've still got to go to, Chelsea have got to come to us. And I know Chelsea are struggling, so I'd fancy us to beat Chelsea at Old Trafford. But we've still got the likes of Brighton away. Brentford have got to come to Old Trafford rescheduled. So that's going to be sandwiched in somewhere. So there's a few banana skins in there as well. So like you said, it's a long shot. But we have to just keep winning. The fact that City have still got Arsenal to play as well, so one of them is going to take points off each other. That could be a deciding factor on where the league ends up at the end of the season.
Like you say, Manchester United and Arsenal have still got to come to Anfield. So Liverpool could still have a big say in this. Yeah. Ravi's back in the chat. He said, Liverpool need to sort their lives out. We ain't strong enough. Ravi's a red.
Oh, Ravi the red, mate.
Ravi is my man. Big up, Ravi. Love it. But you're right. We have got to sort our lives out. We ain't strong enough. Ravi, let me know in the comments. We're touted as signing Jude Bellingham. And I was talking to Travis in my group chat today. And of course I want him. I said I'd even shed a tear if we signed him. That's how bad I want him and how much I need him. But we need more than him. We need a second and a third midfielder. So I'd be delighted if we signed him. But if he was all we got, it's nowhere near enough for me. Let me know your thoughts. La Liga. Barca haven't won it for 3 years yet.
Yeah.
Definitely, Jose. Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid. Liverpool's finished, brother. Let me just delete that comment. Ravi says, it's not me being salty. I can't see United winning. It's Arsenal, City, then third United. Yeah, look, the odds suggest that for sure. City and Arsenal are tied at the top in terms of the betting odds. They're both about evens. Man United are out at 12-1. Ironically, this going for the quad, being in all competitions, it's going to hinder them a little bit.
As I was saying to on one of the last streams as well, I agree with what Ravi's saying. I think if we were chasing one team, we'd have a chance. But the fact that we're chasing two makes it more difficult because, like you said, Man City dropped this week, and we just didn't make any ground on the top. Do you know what I mean? You're needing Arsenal and City to lose this at the same time in the same weekend, and it's just difficult, and we have to win at the same time as well, so it's really, really difficult. But I'm confident that we've just got to keep winning games and just hope that one or two teams slip up. But like I said, the main thing for us is consolidating that top four now. I think we're more or less done that. I think if we can win some of the next few games, Newcastle are on a rocky patch, Spurs are very, very inconsistent. We've probably been we have been the most consistent team after the World Cup. I think we've got the most points in Europe in all the leagues since the World Cup. Our form's been incredible.
Definitely in the Prem. I've seen that stat. I don't know if you remember me saying it near the start of the season as well, Trav. I said no one will win it on 90 plus points this year.
Yeah.
And that was
you're looking at low 80s, maybe 82, maybe 83,
mid 80s. Jose says, I don't think United will win the league, but football's a funny game. Absolutely echoes what we said. Ravi, Barca throwing it away tonight. Ravi, for me, Barcelona are bigger and better than the Europa League. As Jose said, they'll concentrate on La Liga, get that one, keep the gap between them and Real Madrid. They'll be well happy.
Yeah.
He says, been a Liverpool fan since 1991. Top man. I'm a little bit older than you, I imagine then. I've been a Red since about 1987. Now I would take Caicedo over Jude. Think he's a better player all round.
Wow.
That's
a big statement.
That is a big statement, but that just shows how highly he rates Caicedo. And he must be highly rated because every man and his dog's after them. If it isn't Chelsea, it's Arsenal, it's Liverpool. Everyone wants him.
He'll be gone in the summer. He'll be a top player for sure.
Jose says, Ravi, what?
Yeah, that was a big statement, to be fair. Like you said, I mean, they're both unbelievable players, and like you said, for their age, just what they would be like playing together at Liverpool. If Liverpool managed to pull off both of those transfers, then that would really revolutionize their team, and take them up to a new level. Like you said, there's other issues that they've got in terms of like centre half cover and what's going to happen with Trent Alexander-Arnold. But everything aside, as badly as Liverpool are, I personally think there's still players there that can be worked with. Like you said, the front six when everyone's fit. The front six when everyone's fit, and if Van Dijk sort of stays fit and Konate can manage to get a run of games in the team,
you know what it's like? If you got a front three that are absolutely on flames, it doesn't even matter who's in midfield or defence. So if we can get it clicking up front, a bit more energy in midfield, there won't be as much pressure on the defence who are taking a lot of stick at the minute. Jose says Caicedo is brilliant, also very young, but Bellingham is different football gravy. Absolutely, Jose. Yeah, I don't think Jude is all that. Ravi doesn't rate him that high. Barcelona and United belong to Champions League only. Forget Europa League. Absolutely. And I bet you two are hoping you never have to see your teams in Europa League ever again.
Yeah, like you said, I think I'm confident we'll be playing Champions League football next year. I think that's going to be huge for us in terms of attracting players as well. But again, like I said, the biggest person, the biggest signing we made this season was the manager. People want to play for this manager now. You're going to see agents being touted now, and players are going to want to play for United thanks to Ten Hag and the president is setting. I just want to mention as well the contracts situation at United with a few players, because obviously Rashford, a year extension's been triggered with him. So we're trying to sort out his contract. I heard Garnacho's close to agreeing a new long-term deal as well. And it's the same with Dallo and Luke Shaw. They're in talks to extend their contracts. I think it's important that we get all four of these contracts sorted by probably the end of the season or early going into next season, because I think we need to keep all four of those players, especially Rashford, because if Rashford becomes available, most clubs are going to want him. So we need to tie him down instantly, really.
Right. My headphones have died. So, Travis, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, mate.
Well done to Man United. I say it through gritted teeth. But through to the next round. The quad is still on for Ten Hag. All you guys in the chat, big up for joining. Join us on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Jose, thanks so much for coming in the comments and giving your expert knowledge. It's been a pleasure.
Great
and I'm going to be joining you in one of your streams again soon. I'll see you in WhatsApp. Travis, stay cool. Enjoy this ride while you can. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.